What is up, guys, and welcome to Dreams Gaming. We're starting a new series today, a new franchise mode series here at Dreams Gaming, and today what we're going to be doing is a fantasy draft. And this is going to be a longer video. Of course, you guys can already see that. Me being a few seconds in, I have no idea how long it's going to end up being. I am going to make all 32 selections for our team. We're not leaving it up to chance, not leaving it up to the computer. And the team we're going to be doing is the St. Louis Blues. This is at request of some of my partners at Dreams Gaming, specifically Angry Pirate 247, aka Josh, aka Nikki Navigates, aka Nikki Navigating Menus. And we're going to be doing the normal settings here: salary cap, fantasy draft, waivers, CPU trades. Don't want to mess with the owner mode or morale meetings. Don't want the assistant coach, who's terrible, changing my lines any. And for this series, we're going to do a little bit different than the Boston series in the respect that we're going to be a little bit less realistic, just due to the fact that it's a fantasy draft. And we do not want authentic cap penalties. Change that. And we do not want authentic draft pick ownership. So it's fantasy draft, so we're resetting everything from those respects. And so it's gonna be a little bit less realistic. I might do some pick hoarding if I can, or trade guys away and get returns that we shouldn't really get in real life. Just due to the fact that it's a fantasy draft series, it's already insanely unrealistic. So I'm gonna take a little bit of those restrictions off myself. Maybe have a little bit more fun. Excuse me, as we're not even 2 minutes into this video and I'm already fucking up my speaking, which is gonna be a common theme for every single video you watch of mine. I will fuck up multiple times every single video. Okay, so we wanted to do a fantasy draft, and we wanted to do the St. Louis Blues, and for the pick order, we're going completely random. And we're going to do 4 randomizations. That was also chosen by Angry Pirate. So we'll just get right into it. Before we do any randomization, we are already on the 4th pick, so I'd like to just start it right now and end up with a super good player up there to build our team around. But we're going to do 4 randomizations. After 1, we are 12. 2 puts us at 27. 3 at 7. And 4 puts us at 18. So we're right in the middle of the draft. So we'll be picking in the middle of every single round since it is a snake draft. I'm not sure what we can get at 18. I don't think I've ever done a fantasy draft with a pick this low. I mean, obviously we do fantasy drafts for fun. You're going to give yourself a top 5 pick. But we will jump right into it and see how this goes. I don't know how boring this video is going to be, and if you stick around and watch the whole thing, congratulations, you deserve a medal. Alright, so we're going to go see who was taken in the first round before us. We got... Oh, and once again, before I get into this a little bit further, this is completely EA's rosters from April. I think the roster update was halfway through April. And unlike the Bruins series, I did not change a single player. I changed a few for the Bruins, but that was it. And so this roster is completely EA. So if you see a guy that's completely underrated, that is absolutely terrible in the game that shouldn't be, don't blame me. Email EA customer service and tell them that they are horrible. Don't tell them that, but just give them feedback. I'm sure they could use it, and I'm sure they get quite a bit of it, honestly. So in the first round, McDavid, Crosby to the Islanders, Doughty, Kane to the Boston Bruins. Jesus. I already want to restart this video. Just based on that right there. That's atrocious. Do not want to see that ever again. Stamkos, Ben, Taves, Ovechkin, Weber, Tarasenko to the Blue Jackets, so he will not be returning to St. Louis. Tavares, Sagan, Hedman, Kopitar, Kucherov, a low elite Kucherov. Wow. Subban and Malkin. Alright, let's get into who we're going to be building this franchise around. And I already see one guy that I'm very intrigued by. Erik Karlsson is still there. 92 overall, 26 years old. Obviously one of the best offensive defensemen in the game and in real life. He's having an insane year. Put up a point a game last season in the real NHL. And he's led the Senators currently in the Eastern Conference Finals. So Erik Karlsson would be a fantastic pick for us to build our entire team around, really. But we're gonna go take a look at each position. just see what's there and look at the potential guys. So Jack Eichel with the medium franchise tag, 86 overall, 19 years old, would be a very, very strong choice right now. Jeez, medium franchise, that's just fantastic. But I will not be picking him more than likely. What we're going to try to do in this series, Eichel is the franchise, but Line A and Matthews are both elite. That's interesting. They're not even high elite? Come on, EA. Yeah, but guys like Thomas Tatar is high elite, but Matthews and Line A aren't. Okay. So a little bit of direction we want to take is we want to try to win as soon as possible. So we want these higher overall guys, these guys that are already developed. But if I was doing a rebuilding series, or if I wanted a bunch of younger guys, Jack Eichel would easily be the best player available. Looking at defensive selections and potential guys to pick on the back end, obviously Ristolainen and Ekblad would be absolutely fantastic, being those high elite, young 20s, already 87 overalls. Ekblad has quite a contract on him, but that's fine. And there's plenty of medium elite options down here. Guys that are low 20s or still in their teens that are in the 80s already. Seth Jones, Provorov, McAvoy. Those would be great guys to get. Chicherin, I don't fucking know. We'll call him Chick. Sure. If he ends up on our team, he will be referred to from now on as Chick. And if he doesn't, I'll probably forget that I nicknamed him, and I will stumble upon his name in the future if we ever see him again. Goaltending, is there anybody here that we want to build a franchise around? Not really. There's Holtby, who would be fantastic, but I'd rather have that all-star defenseman than a goalie, because EA's franchise mode's weird in that sometimes you'll see teams win the cup with an 80 overall goalie, and he will tear shit up and win the Conn Smythe. And sometimes you'll see teams with a 90 overall goalie struggle. So I feel like goalie is a position that's very volatile. Did I say volatile? Volatile? I don't. Listen, just ignore me for most of the series. Just ignore those mistakes. Look right past them, because they're gonna happen a lot. And I'm gonna take a swig of water. I will be on this video for a while. Hope you didn't hear that. Probably sounds disgusting if you did. So basically, if we're looking for a guy to win now, and also a relatively young guy, because we don't want to pick a 90+ overall guy that's already 35. We like to have him for more than 1 year. So we're looking at either Braden Holtby or Erik Karlsson. And since this video is going to be so long, I'm going to go ahead and pick Erik Karlsson and get on with it. For everything back to defenseman. All right, Erik Karlsson. Welcome to the St. Louis Blues. You are the franchise. We're going to put your face in the thumbnail. And if I had Photoshop skills, I would Photoshop a St. Louis Blues jersey on you. But I do not. So you probably will not see that in the thumbnail. I haven't made it yet, so you already know what it is, and I don't. That's crazy to think about. So we picked Karlsson. Holtby went back to the Capitals 1 pick later. So we're making a pretty good decision here. I'm pretty sure the Capitals would have picked either Karlsson or Holtby, whichever was left. Goudreau, Roman Yossi's a good pick. Ekman Larson, Suter, Pietrangelo to the Rangers. He will not be returning. To the Blues, Ekblad to the Blackhawks, Backstrom, Vlasic, Hall, and Price. Second round, Quick Shattenkirk will not be returning to the Blues after being traded away. Scheifele, Eichel fell to the second round. My God, Pittsburgh. Who did they pick in the first round? In the first round, Pittsburgh selected Vlasic, and they added Vlasic. They added Eichel to Jack. They added Marc-Edouard Eichel to Jack Vlasic. Jesus. Barkov, Galchenyuk, Matthews, Johansson, Pavelski, Perry, Ristolainen. We almost had a chance at Ristolainen, but he went to the Capitals. The Capitals are picking the best players. Why would they do that in a draft? Why would they pick the best players? Why not pick shitty players? Damn it. So we are gonna look at. I don't know where to take. I don't know what direction to take now. We might go Morgan Rielly just to set up that fantastic top two defensive pairing, or we might go some other direction. I don't know yet. Let's look, see what's out there for forwards. Looking at old guys here. Maybe like a Max Pacioretty. Probably not, though. Phil the Thrill Kessel. Yeah, he's good, but I feel like he'll still be around maybe next round. If we're looking to pick a forward, it's going to be something like Philip Forsberg here. 88 overall, 22 years old. Still has medium elite potential. Still has growing room. And he's also really good now as well. Or, oh man. The first few rounds of fantasy draft are the absolute hardest. Line A right there, 86 overall at 18. Draisaitl, 87 at 20. And you got to look at those guys, and you just... Kachuk, 82 at 18. That's actually a really good... If he's still around in a couple rounds, I might pick him with 3 years left on his entry-level deal. Same thing with Line A and Jesse. Not even going to try with his last name. I almost tried, as I said I wasn't going to try. So Jesse. Looking at young guys like Strome. McKinnon's got a big contract already. That's kind of unfortunate, but he's a guy we could look to build around. Defensively, we're looking at pretty much Morgan Riley or Seth Jones down here. But I think we're going to wait another round for defense. We already have Erik Karlsson to build around. And then goalies. Let's see what's available in the net. We already passed 10 minutes, and I've made one selection. Jeez. Alright, goalies. There's quite a few goalies left here for us to choose from, so I don't think we need to pick a goalie quite yet. And Rask is still there, and Bobrovsky's still there. And guys like Frederick Anderson and Martin Jones are still there, so we're going to wait a little bit for goalie. We're also looking at Leonard, maybe even John Gibson or Peter Mrazek. So there's quite a few goalies left. So we're going to go back to the forwards, and we're going to pick between, if it'll ever load, my goodness. So not the thing with Kuznetsov, he has Kuznetsov. The thing with Kuznetsov, he has that highly potential, but he's already 24, so he might be done growing. We don't know, and I don't think that's a risk we can take. I think we'd rather take a shot on somebody that's a little bit, maybe a couple years younger. Maybe a guy like I should be writing down these players as I'm considering them. Philip Forsberg. That's $6 million for that top line guy is not bad, and he's in there for 6 years. If we pick a guy like Forsberg, though, we're leaving it up to chance when it comes to a center. We could just go with Draisaitl. 1 overall point less, 2 years younger, and he's a center. Although his face-off category isn't the best. So I'm just going to pick Philip Forsberg and get on with it. Philip Forsberg, welcome to the St. Louis Blues. You will be a franchise defenseman for us. Top line for a long time, and I'm sure Blues fans out there after this most recent playoffs are not happy with me for picking Philip Forsberg and bringing him to the Blues. So we got Keith Pacioretty, Bergeron to Colorado, Letang, Getzlaf, Line A to Montreal. So he was the guy we were looking at. Decided not to pull the trigger on. Burns, Seabrook, Schneider, Bufflin, Carlson, Giordano, Hamilton, McDonough, Dubnyk, Rask, McKinnon. So there goes a couple goalies. There goes one of our potential franchise centers. There goes Kessel, Breezy, Jeff Carter's a third-round pick? Huh. Crawford, Wheeler, Bobrovsky. So there goes a couple more goalies. There goes Kachuk, Reinhart, Klingberg. Another goalie. Ryan O'Reilly, Duchesne, Barry, Okposo, Turris, Lucic. Alright, so Draisaitl is still there. But like 4 goalies went that round. So just take another look at goalie real quick and really see where that's at, because we still want a top-notch goaltender if we're going to be competing as soon as possible. In the net, the guys we're still considering, we still have Anderson, Jones, Leonard. Talbot's not terrible. I didn't realize he was an 87 overall. Even Ben Bishop down here. Guys like Matt Murray, he's still available. Vasilevsky, I sorted by the wrong thing. Yeah, Leonard Jones, Mrazek, and Gibson are still there. So we can go probably another round, get one of those guys. But right now, we're going to go look for our franchise center, our top line center, to pair with Philip Forsberg. I'm actually going to start writing down who we're picking so I know where we stand. Give me 1 second. I'm making some lines here on a piece of paper, on my handy dandy notebook. Hashtag Blues Clues. Hashtag throwback. I apologize. Okay. Oh, I got to fill it in. Duh. Alright, we got Forsberg. It's our top line left winger. I forgot what handedness Erik Karlsson was. I'm pretty sure he's left. Just want to double check. He's right-handed. Fuck me. Alright, Karlsson. Right-handed. Okay, we are 15 minutes into this video, and I've made 2 selections. I apologize. It's going to speed up as we get into the later rounds. So we're looking at Draisaitl here. He's pretty much our clear choice. Maybe somebody like Larkin down here, but Draisaitl is strictly better at this point in time. There's quite a few players here. Sean Monahan, wow, he's pretty good in the game. 87 overall, 21. But we're going to pick Draisaitl. Fantastic offensively. Pretty good defensive awareness. The only thing that's really not like jumping out on the page at me is his face-off category. But once again, we can overlook that. I'm not really sure how much of a factor that plays into the simulation anyways. But we're going to pick Draisaitl. Let's see if I can write his name down with perfect spelling. I believe I did. D-R-A-I-S-A-I-T-L. Yeah, I got it right. Yes. Alright, so we've got 3 medium elite guys thus far. We're picking youngsters, but these youngsters are already top-line guys for us, so I don't mind that. Once again, we're trying to win as soon as possible. As we breeze through, there goes Frederik Andersen and Morgan Rielly, back-to-back picks. That's probably the last round I will go through and look at each selection. Just want to make sure, there goes Seth Jones, so a few good players are going now. Back into the Capitals. So we'll probably pick a goalie here. Actually, I don't know. I have to look at it again. I have to look at it each round just to be sure that we're still in a good situation. So one thing that's tough about fantasy drafts is the cap hit. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, we've already taken on 13 million cap with our first 3 picks. So here, there's still quite a few guys. Leonard and Jones are still there. Gibson and Mrazek and Matt Murray are still there. Is there anybody that's already... Yeah, Talbot's still there. So, and Bishops. There's like 6 or 7 goalies. Excuse me as I burp. Hashtag Subway. There's like 6 or 7 guys, 6 or 7 goalies there that we could still take. So I think we're fine on goalies. I shouldn't have backed out from that screen entirely. We're going to look at defense right now. See if there's any young stud defensemen left. As I breeze through the list, there is not. Brodin, maybe Hampus Lindholm and Trouba down here, and Ryan Murray. 86 overall, 22, but they are that low elite potential. There's nobody in the medium elite category that's still young. That's still really young. That's already a top line guy. So we're going to go back to the forwards and see what's going on there. We still got guys like Panarin and Stone and Toffoli and Skinner. They're all 87, 24 years of age. Landeskog and Saad down there. We already have our left winger, so we're probably leaning more towards a right winger for this pick. So maybe a guy like Toffoli here, 87 overall, age 24. Pretty good all-around two-way player. He's listed as a sniper. He could be on the right side of Forsberg and Draisaitl. Or as I try to collect myself and think about where we're even at. Yeah, I like Toffoli better than Mark Stone. And that has nothing to do with the Senators beating the Bruins in the playoffs, which is highly disappointing. And I like him better than Brandon Saad. So what we're going to do here, we're picking Tyler Toffoli. He's going to be our top line right winger. And so we move on to the next pick. Once again, we will consider, and there goes John Gibson. So we'll consider where we are at goalies. It looks like we're probably going to need to take one right now. Hopefully we did not get gypped and we did not miss out on our top-notch goaltender. So as we see here, Matt Murray is the best guy left with potential. And outside of him, guys like Talbot and Ben Bishop would be our next best options. So I think we're going to go with Matt Murray. 86 overall is not bad. It's probably not the best for if you want to win a cup now, although he did win the cup last season in real life for the Pens. We're going to pick Matt Murray. Only 22 years of age, so hopefully he can grow for us a few overall points by the end of the season and be just hopefully he can carry us into the playoffs and to the cup. So there we see Hannafin and Tatar, guys with still elite potential, are still available. And they're still being selected. And as we move on to the later rounds or the mid rounds, we can look to pick up some guys from this list to maybe fill some slots on our team. These, of course, are the really old guys that are left in the draft. But so we're looking now for that top line, probably left-handed defenseman. To pair with Erik Karlsson to really round out our starting lineup. And as I breeze through these to try to figure out who we should select, Murray stands out down here. Ryan Murray, I believe. Is he lefty? He is. So Ryan Murray is a potential selection there. As we get into high top four guys, we're not interested in that right now. And another guy to consider, maybe Clefbaum. Is he left-handed? He is. He's pretty good two-way defender with defensive category in the. Okay, but Ryan Murray is probably going to be our selection here. So his overall, I mean, he's got fantastic defense, all in the 88. He's got pretty good offense with the mid to high 80s, pretty much all around. But I'm pretty sure his overall is being dragged down by his physical category, which is 3.5 stars. Let's see Clefbaum's. Clefbaum's is also 3.5 stars. So I'm not sure what the big difference is between these two guys. But we will be picking Ryan Murray. He will be our starting left-handed defenseman to pair with Erik Karlsson. So our starting lineup's looking like the forwards will be Forsberg, Draisaitl, Toffoli. The defense being Ryan Murray, Erik Karlsson, and the goalie being Matt Murray. I'll take a sip of water as we get into our next selection. That water is delicious. So, still quite a bit of old guys here. They're all pretty much going to retire this season, except when we get down here to the guys in the 86s. So these could be second line guys for us. From this list, maybe a guy like Radulov here could be our second line right winger. Only 30 years old, but look at that offensive awareness. So he'd be a big time point scorer. But we're still going to look for a young stud. We are trying to win now, but I still prefer the young studs to the old studs. I want to set us up for not only short-term success, but also long-term success. And there's not really anybody with potential that is a high overall that can be a second-line guy for us that can still develop. There's no one really left in that category, with the exception probably of Eric Goodbranson, but he's probably not going anywhere. If he's there in a couple rounds, maybe next round, that'd be a decent selection for a right-handed defenseman. But we're probably going to go. I don't really want to pick any of these guys yet. I still want to get those young guys. So what we're gonna do, I think I saw somebody down here. Not Eberle, he's already 26. Jeez. I don't know what direction I want to take right now. Just don't know where I want to go. Maybe a guy like Strom here. But he's already 23, so that's not really the best option. Alright. We're just going to go up here and pick a guy that is a stud prospect. So either probably one of Jesse or one of Chick. Of course, but the two guys that their name I didn't know how to pronounce, I'm deciding between right now. I'm pretty sure it's Chikrin, and I'm pretty sure it's like something like Pulji Harvey or something like that. I don't know. Jesse and Jacob. It's just the direction of if we want to pick a forward or a defenseman. Chikrin has really good defensive stats already, and Pulja Harvey is more of that two-way forward. He gets in there physically, but even as a 79 overall, I would not be confident giving him NHL minutes right now. His defense only 3 stars, his offense being low 80s across the board, and his physical is not even there yet. So we're gonna probably pick Chikrin, and I'll pencil him in as our third line left-handed defenseman. But we don't know where he's gonna be yet, if he's gonna crack the squad. And oh, there went Goodbranson. The Capitals are ripping me apart. Every single pick, they are sniping me. So we're gonna look for a veteran right now, and all these guys are in the 85s, but one guy that's 86, Radulov, like we talked about earlier, 5.75 cap hit, 1 year left on his deal. Age 30 is not bad, especially if you look at the guys around him on this list. Pretty much anyone that's above the 88, we do not need, because we already have our top line filled out by young guys, both offensively and defensively. Just want to double check if there's any stud prospects out here, or any stud goalies that are still left. We will take a look at those guys. Nope, nothing really here. Nothing doing. Nope. Okay. Might look to pick up a decent backup goalie here in a couple rounds, but we're gonna be looking at skaters. I can't tell if my voice is still working or not. I hope it is. What's next? What is next? There's a bunch of guys that are young, low 20s or even teens that are low 80 overall. You might pick one of those guys. One of like Bennett, Mantha, Nurse, Rantanen, Richie, Bigris up here. I've never had Bigris in a series or in a franchise mode. What does he look like? Although we already have 3 defensemen, we don't need another one, and he's left-handed. We already have Chicker in there. As I hear thunder outside, hopefully that does not pick up on the stream, or not on the stream, in the video, as we are nearing 30 minutes and I have made like 7 selections, not even a quarter of the way through. Hopefully this does not end up being a 2-hour video, as I'm sure none of you guys would want to watch that. Sam Bennett has really good offensive stats for being an 82 overall, so we could probably put him as our third line center right now. Same with Rantanen, so if Rantanen's still there, I might pick him next round, but this round we are going with Sam Bennett, and we will pencil him in as our third line center. He's got really good offensive stats. So I still need to figure out what to do for our second line. And one thing when you do fantasy drafts is you'll get a bunch of old veterans that are still left that do not get selected. So you could end up... Did I pick Radulov? No, I did not. I am losing my mind. I did not pick Radulov. Okay. Looked at my paper and I saw that our second line was still completely empty, and for some reason in my head I was like, I picked Radulov. Why is he not there? Moving on from that, moving on from my insanity, looking to fill out our second line now. Look at Franz Nielsen. He's got 95 discipline. He's never going to take a penalty in his entire career. He had 12 PIMs last year. And then Van Eck, So if you want a really good second line, Vanek or Nielsen is probably the selection. Them being relatively younger than everyone else on this list. They'll have a couple years probably before they regress. And Vanek's on a fantastic contract for year 1. And I'm not really interested in holding on to Franz Nielsen until he's 38. So we're probably going to go with Vanek. Comes in with the super low cap hit. We're only obligated for him for 1 year. High 80s on the offense, 85 defensive awareness is pretty good. 4.5 star skating. Thomas Vanek, welcome to the St. Louis Blues. We're going to pencil you in behind Philip Forsberg on our left wing. And pick the Capitals are just sniping us everywhere. Connor Carrick is a pretty good defenseman. I shouldn't say they sniped us from Carrick because we probably wouldn't have chosen him anyways. But pitter patter. Jaromir Jagr is still there. Some of these defensemen might be there. So there's a bunch of old defensemen. So I'm actually gonna hold off probably on trying to fill one of my second pairing defensive slots until free agency. But at this point, I do not know yet. Is there any behind this list that's like 20s? Probably not. Until we get down here to Jakob Silfverberg being a medium top 6 guy at age 25. Not terrible, but I don't think anything's going to stand out to me anymore from this draft. Nine picks in. There have already been 270 players selected, so at this point we're getting into a territory where you're going to be average. Average picks will be best. What does Abdelkader look like? We already have our second line left winger, but just taking a look at Abdelkader, the only guy under 30 that we can see. Dylan Strome is very close to being NHL ready with the medium elite tag that I kind of want to pick him. But at the same time, like, is that going to hurt us? Cody Ceci might be a pick for a couple, maybe next round. He can be our third line right-handed defenseman. Still a young guy, can develop into a second liner. But Dylan Strome, he's going against our strategy of winning now. But he's still a medium elite guy, and he's still available in the 10th round, or what's going to be the 10th round. There's still quite a few guys down here. Maybe Ryan Spooner we can throw into the third line. Maybe even the second line. Tyler Ennis is only 26, but he's not that great. So there's still a bunch of prospects left, but there's not a prospect left that's as good as Dylan Strome. So we're just going to pick him. And if anything, we could probably trade him at some point during our first season. Trade him for a guy that can help us win now. So let's make a note of Strome. We're going to put him as other. Alright, so there went a couple of older defensemen in Daly and Wisniewski and Mathot and Sekera. But that's not too concerning. There's still going to be a couple of guys left, probably 83s, when the fantasy draft has finished. Jagr is still there. If Jagr is there next round, I will pick Jaromir Jagr. But let's go see if Cody Ceci was selected, and it looks like he was. That's unfortunate. I really wanted Ceci. Throw him on the right side. There's no one with the elite potential tag that is NHL ready. That is unfortunate. There's still quite a few prospects that are close, though. But we're going to go look to draft a defenseman. Check out the backup goalies really quick. I hate how slow the goalie screen loads in this game. It takes forever for no apparent reason. I don't think we want anybody from this list. There's no one here that really has room to grow. Maybe down here at Stolarz, but we don't really want a 79. We want somebody in the 80s, and somebody like Markstrom is making too much money for too long term. We don't really want him. Kemper, no. So let's judge on this screen. Who do we want? Maybe a guy down here like Chad Johnson, 83 overall. 1 year, 1.7 million is not bad. But at the same time, competing with him, we got guys like Ranta and Hammond and Roth. These guys with the fringe starter, the exact fringe starter potential over here. Darcy Kemper even still has that medium starter tag, so we might pick Kemper. Johnson, Ranta, Hammond, and Ross. There's like 5 guys that we're still looking for there. So we will move on from that. Waiting for the defenseman screen to load. There we go. From this, so we're looking for a defenseman. Don't know why. I just want a defenseman right now. A lot of times when I'm doing a fantasy draft, I don't have much of a reason for why I'm doing something. I just do it for the hell of it. And we're looking for a defenseman right now. Beaulieu. Wow. 83 overall, 23 years old, 1 year, 1 million. Left-handed. We could probably live with him being our second line left wing or left-handed defenseman. Decent defensive stats, decent offensive stats, decent skating, pretty much decent all around, and hopefully he can grow with that low top 4 potential. Just see if anyone else pops out to me. Not really. Zaitsev maybe, but he's a medium top 6, and his stats are not as good as Beaulieu. So we're going to pick Beaulieu. So we need to start looking for a right-handed defenseman. Erik Karlsson cannot play 60 minutes a game, as you can see in the playoffs this season, because he's been hurt, and yeah. So who do the Capitals pick? Probably a really good player. Erik Hall, a medium top 9. Wasn't the guy that was quite on our radar just yet. So let's dive right in and see who we can probably pick here. We still have a couple of needs on our second line. I haven't really looked at centers in a while. Let's see what is available. Guys in their 60 overalls. My goodness, we do not want that whatsoever. We might have to trade for a second line centerman. Soderberg as an 84 has a terrible cap hit. Nick Bonino though, 1.9 mil, 28, 1 year. It's not bad, not bad. He might end up being our second line center. Not ideal in the slightest, but that's where we're at now. I probably waited too long to pick up another center. Buchanan isn't bad, but I don't like that $6 million at age 33. Probably prone to regression, and he might still be there in a couple rounds. We're going to pick Bonino. So we're going to have a really young top line in the NHL, and then a really old second line at this point. I'm calling 28 really old, just for the hell of it. So we still need a second line right winger, third line left and right wing, and our entire fourth line. We need 2 right-handed defensemen and a backup goalie. And that will fill out our NHL roster. We have Dylan Strome as a prospect, not NHL ready just yet. But he can develop into that long-term second line center for us. Looking at the goalies, we want to pick a backup. We want him to be low cap hit. So Ranta here as an 82 overall, still pretty young guy, 1 mil, 2 years. Hammond down here. You do not want to pick a guy like Reimer, as it is still storming outside. So we're probably going to pick Ranta here. A decent backup option for us with a really low cap hit, couple years left. And he can back up Matt Murray. So throw Ranta down, and we might look to pick up a goalie prospect, although with Matt Murray being so young, I don't know if that's going to be that important for us. But we will take a look anyways. If Malcolm Subban is still there, we might pick him. We might pick him. The goalie screen takes forever. He's not, but there are still 4 medium starter prospects left, so we don't really have to worry about that. We can just pick one of those guys at any time. So we're still looking for a right winger to help our squad out. Still a couple of good defensive prospects left, like Jacob Larson, low elite, 19 years old, 78. He is left-handed though. Not what we need, but it's better than most of our other options. See what's available at right wing. Anthony Mantha is still available at 80 overall, 21 years old. Listed as a sniper. Used to be listed as a power forward. He's still got that fantastic physical category. Looking at this list, nothing really pops out as I want that guy for my second line kind of guy. Maybe Jerome McGinley. Maybe. Oh, as I burp. Hashtag Subway Part 2. Maybe Jerome McGinley can be a second liner for us. Maybe Verbata. Both of them have pretty good stats. Iggy is much better defensively, and then Verbata is much better. No, Iggy is much better in the physical category, and Verbata is much more of a scoring kind of guy. I don't know. Those guys are so old, though. It's like it's gonna be 1 year of these guys, and then they're gone. Look at a guy like Yannick Hansen, maybe. He's a grinder. You don't really want that. Drew Stafford, kind of expensive. So we're just gonna pick. No, let's look at the other forwards real quick. Fiala's not a bad prospect right there. Hashtag broken leg. Sorry, buddy. I'm saying hashtag way too much. You guys are probably finding that really annoying. This is a really boring video. I am sorry. I am bored myself trying to talk through this entire thing. Usually when I'm doing fantasy drafts, I am just like looking at my phone and doing homework or something. But this time I have to be paying attention. And I have to try to make sense of what I'm doing. Most of the time I can't do that. And yeah, we still have 19 picks left to make. We're picking Mantha. Fuck it. Can I pencil him in on the fourth line? Yeah, I think so. With his good physical category, he can be a little bit of a bruiser on the fourth line. We'll pick Mantha. Whatever. I just want to move on with this right now. And we still need some right-handed defensemen. Hopefully Dahan was right-handed. Then I just got sniped from Dahan. But I know Seidenberg's left-handed from the Bruins series. Or picks lefty. Jeez. There's so many more people that are left-handed in the game than right. And that is unfortunate for us. We might have to throw left-handed guys over there and say deal with it. Are there any good defensive prospects? Oh, we lost a chance of getting Jacob Larson. That is unfortunate. Morrow's garbage from this list. Maybe a guy. No. They're all pretty average, pretty meh. And we do not want that at this point. We might just go ahead and pick Sanheim. Because if you look at this list of guys, they're all so old. They're all going to retire. And I can live with not picking them. But we're going to go Sanheim here and throw him on our prospect list with Strome. I said I wanted to win now. And I still think we have a chance at that. But just with the way the fantasy draft is set up, Andrew Hammond was still there like 3 rounds after I picked a backup goalie. Just the way the fantasy draft is and the way teams value players, you can pick up a bunch of 85 overalls and 84 overalls in the later rounds. So we're going to try and do that to fill out our roster. And yeah, so looking at this list, nothing is we still need that second line right winger. So we're gonna pick a right winger this round. Just a matter of which one we want to go with. It's probably gonna be Verbata. We got Vanek and Bonino. Vanek's more of a sniper, but so is Verbata. And I hope Bonino is a playmaker. Yeah, we'll just pick Verbata. He's gonna be our second line right winger. Hopefully he either doesn't regress too much after the season, or we win a cup with him and he retires. Who knows what's going to happen there. I don't know. I just don't know. So now we're looking at bottom 6 guys, so we can fill the rest of the team out with like 83s. So now we're probably going to pick a couple of prospects, just get the best guys available. Are there any goalie prospects still left? Is there any of those medium starters? All the medium starters are still there. We might just bring Evan Fitzpatrick back to the Blues. It's either that, Carter Hart, or Philip Gustafson. They're all 18. Hart and Fitzpatrick are 84s, while Gustafson is an 87, and Hart is signed to a contract. We're just going to pick Fitzpatrick, and there is our goalie prospect and probably our AHL backup. So we're good on goalies. We don't need to draft anymore. We can just sign somebody to be our AHL starter, a guy in the high 70s. No biggie. At this point, we are just looking for guys that are going to help us win now, and I really hate picking guys that are in their upper 30s at any point during the fantasy draft. We might just pick a guy like Svechnikov here, maybe Fleury. We'll keep looking though. Never had Svechnikov in a franchise mode. Guryanov and Ropadope, as I have aptly named him from our Boston Bruins franchise mode series. He's on our team. And I don't know if it's Hintz or Heinz, so I'm just calling him Ropadope. And I don't know. There's just going to be so many awkward pauses in this video that I do not want to go back and listen to it. I don't even want to edit it. I don't think I'll have to, actually. We're just going to pick Svechnikov, fuck it, and move on. So write him down in our prospect list. So we are over 45 minutes, and I am just over halfway through. More water. Yeah. About this. We might just pick... So our third line, we got Sam Bennett, so he's a scoring guy. He's a real good scorer on the third line. So let's look for wingers to go with Sam Bennett. We've got maybe a Marlowe, maybe a Reed or a Kuhlman. Those guys are only 30. Gabrick with that contract, no thank you. Pass. Don't want to deal with that, you know, ever. Kuhlman, pretty good two-way guy, better defensively than offensively. Matt Reed, pretty much the same kind of deal. But Marlowe, he's going to have those better offensive stats. Just kidding. He's pretty much about the same. Kunitz, so no one's really jumping out to me as being fantastic offensively. We're going to go look at offensive awareness. Nope, can't do that. Alright, so we're going to look at nothing really here can give us what we need, so whatever. Marlowe's still a 5-star skater, though, at age 37. So looking at our cap hit, we're pretty good up to this point. We've already got our top 6 forwards and our top defensive pairing, and we're still about halfway through our cap space. We're over halfway through the draft. So we're just going to pick Patrick Marleau here. He's a big cap hit. He's an old guy, but he's probably going to be on our roster for 1 year, and he's definitely going to bolster both our power play and our depth scoring. Pencil Marleau in as a left winger. One thing I like about EA's fantasy draft is when you make a pick, it automatically sims to your next pick. As the Capitals get a low elite guy there. It automatically sims to your next pick. You don't have to do anything. Don't have to press any buttons. So you make a pick and then go to the bathroom or something and come back and you'll be ready for your next pick. Why am I talking about that? I don't know. Do not ask. So what we still need here, we need the top 4 defensemen. As my chair is very loud, I'm sorry. The top 4 defensemen, preferably a right-handed guy, but I know there are none of those left. Which is unfortunate. TVR is 25 years old already. Prout, high top 6. These guys are pretty old. McElrath, maybe, as a 24-year-old, can maybe get to a top 4. No, we don't want him on our team. So we're just going to sort by the defensive category here, and Orpik and Seidenberg come to the top. Seidenberg, really low cap hit for us, would be fantastic. What about Tootin? Pretty much all left-handed guys. So Bannock Mahalik, or maybe, I don't know. We'll call him Zeeb. So Zeeb here has pretty good defensive stats, and he's a right-handed guy. Only 83 overall, 82 overall, 82 overall. So it's not super impressive. Nothing here is super impressive. Who's our Bowl U on our left side? He's an 84. So we could throw a short-term guy like Seidenberg, or we could get a guy like Mahalik. What's his contract looking like? 1 year at 3.2. So for anything, we're just gonna pick Seidenberg. He's better than Mahalik. He's better than Zeeb at this point and in the future. So whatever, we'll pick Seidenberg. Just has a really good contract. Pencil him in as our second defensive pairing. Put him on the right side. And we're gonna look at guys with potential still. As that's all the Florida Panthers are picking as guys with potential. So pretty much an even number of forwards. We've got our defensemen for the most part, and we have our goaltending. So we still have 3 starting spots left in the NHL forwards and 1 spot on our defense. We can fill those guys out at any time, but what we can't just add at any point are these prospects. Take a look at the medium top 6 guys, see if there's anything there. I should probably sort this by forwards and then defensemen. Timashov, 71 at 19 is not bad. Not interested in the low top 6, and not interested in that guy. So Timashov is an option as a left wing prospect, and of course either of those 2 guys right there, Gauthier, maybe Julian, we'll call him Julian, and Dubois. Both those guys are pretty good prospects that we might be considering here, and there's still 4 low elite defense. Anderson here, 71, Rasmus Anderson is not a bad option. There's nothing really down here that we would like. Bergman's not bad, but I'm not picking him quite yet. So we're looking at picking between, I guess, Hayden Fleury being the 71. He's the closest guy to the NHL from this list. And maybe like Gauthier and Dubois and Timashov. But the thing about Timashov is he's only 2 overall points higher than these 2 guys, and he's already 1 year older. And these guys allegedly have the better potential. I don't know how low elite compares to medium top 6. So we're just going to pick, I don't know what we're going to pick. Gauthier right wing, Dubois center. I'm completely lost in this series. Fleury's 2 years older, so we're gonna go with oh, I need forwards, not left wings. We're just I am sorry. We're gonna pick Dubois. He was the higher draft pick. His name's easier to say. Pierre-Luc Dubois. Welcome to the St. Louis Blues prospect list. Welcome to the Chicago Wolves, more than likely. I am getting tired of talking, and I'm sure you guys are tired of listening to me. Many of you have probably just fast-forwarded to the end to see who we ended up with. Check out the team. I don't blame you. I wish I could do that myself, but I can't as I am making the video. So we still need a third-line right winger, as Squeaky Chair recommends Jerome McGinley. I counter with Justin Williams. Justin Williams is looking like, takes on a little bit more of a cap hit, but he's 5 years younger, so we could probably get a couple years out of him. A little bit worse physical category, but he's a better skater. A little bit worse for shot, but he has better puck skills. And they're both about similar defensively, but McGinley can take face-offs. That's something to consider. But we're going to pick Justin Williams for now. He has the better potential. Listed as a top 6 instead of a top 9, so maybe he's further away from regressing. Maybe he will not retire. Has Yager been? Yager has been selected. So Justin Williams, welcome to our bottom 6. And I need more water. My goodness. As the Panthers snipe Rasmus Anderson from us. Whew. This is a marathon of a video for me. Never recorded a video this long. Never talked for this long straight in my life. This is a first. And the thing about Jake Bean right here is I've seen him grow to something crazy, like a 99 overall, as a phone is ringing in the background. Hope you can't hear it. Jake Bean, I'm gonna take a shot as I was listening to the automated caller ID, trying to see who it was, if it was important. I believe it's nobody. So Jake Bean, we're gonna pick him, and we're gonna see if he ends up growing like I've seen him grow. We still need that 4th line, left wing and center, and our 3rd pairing right-handed defenseman. Capitals take a medium top 6 prospect with one of the best names in the game, Ethan Bear. What a name. So for our 4th line, I am thinking about not even drafting guys to fit that slot. Waiting until free agency, we can get any of these guys. Pretty much all of them would be fantastic 4th line options. I think from this point on, we will be selecting pretty much prospects only. As I look at our team, I'll read it off to you guys. So our top forward line, Forsberg, Draisaitl, Toffoli, all high 80 guys, pushing 90, all young, all with fantastic potential. Maybe by the end of the year they grow to be 90s. I actually had a franchise mode fantasy draft where I had Toffoli, and he ended up being a 91, which was not even good enough for our first line. So Toffoli, hopefully he can go to the 90s. I've never had Draisaitl or Forsberg, but I'm sure they can both do the same. Second line, Vanek, Bonino, Verbata. Older guys, veterans that we can have that are on our team. I don't even know what the fuck I was trying to say there. Third line, Marlowe, Bennett, Williams. So a good mix of one young guy as our center and 2 aging veterans that can help him out. On the 4th line, we have Mantha right now. We might be able to replace in free agency, and then we have a center and left wing openings. On defense, 2 young guys. Well, Ryan Murray, who's still young at 22, can still grow, and he's paired with Erik Karlsson, our franchise level guy. Second line pairing is Beaulieu and Seidenberg. Third line, we have Chychrun right now as our left-handed D, and our right-handed D is blank. Chychrun can be replaced, and in the net we have Stanley Cup winning Matt Murray and Antti Ranta as his backup. Might be Antti, I don't know. Oh, I want this video to be over, and I'm sure you guys too. You guys do too. Jesus. My speech is digressing by the minute. I'm like a 36-year-old in NHL 17. I am regressing each and every season. As I look to take a prospect, it's probably going to be Jeremy Waugh right here. He's the only guy left with that elite potential. And there are only 2 guys with the medium potential of the next level down. So the top 6 top forward defenseman. And Roy Waugh, is better than both of them already. So we're picking Waugh. Throw him on the prospect list. Whew. I am struggling to finish this video. I don't know what to say. There's going to be awkward silence here at the end of the stream, end of the video. I don't know why I keep calling it a stream. Everything I say is not making any sense. So I'm just looking for prospects now. Yeah. There's nothing left. We're to the point in the draft where there is nothing left. Any sort of potential guys have been drafted. We might pick this Forsberg guy just because he has some potential, and he can be our AHL starting goalie. He's not bad. Is there anyone else that stands out to me? Not really. So we're going to pick our AHL starting goalie. Where was he? Forsberg right here. I believe it's Anton. Though I don't really care at this point. I just want to get on with the video. It's crazy how late in these rounds you can still draft low elite potential guys. But Morgan Klimchuk, is that his name? Morgan Klimchuk. Look at that discipline. My goodness, 90 already. High 70s offensive stats. Not bad. So we're going to pick Klimchuk, throw him in the AHL as a prospect. I'm ready for this video to be over. My goodness. I have said that for like the last 10 minutes straight. Simply because I don't know what else to say. Are we going to struggle to meet the cap floor? That is a question that don't know the answer to. Do not know. Are there any right-handed defensemen left? Zeeb is still left. Ben Lovejoy. Killer from the Bruins. Nope. We're going to pick Zeeb. His defensive category is too good. Should we pick Tootin? I don't know. I don't know what to pick. I almost regret doing this entire video live. But if I didn't, if I edited between every single pick, it would take forever to edit this video. Mark Streit is pretty good offensively. All these guys are old. I don't want anybody that old, so maybe a guy like Kyle Quincy. But he's only average. He only has average stats across the board. What's Schlemko look like? Because that $2 million for 4 years is not bad. Pretty much an average guy. Probably throw him on the third pairing and he would stay there. So let's check Quincy again. Quincy, I guess, has potential to play a top 4 role, but we don't need that. Whatever. Not the guy I want to pick. We're picking Schlemko just because he has a longer term. So we can keep him around if we so choose. Yeah. I don't know. There's not really any prospects left. Everyone has been selected. Maybe Dano. Philip Dano. 79 overall, age 23. Still has potential. Not bad offensive not bad defensive stats. Pretty good offense. 79. Throw him in the AHL top line probably. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Dano. Gonna take Dano right here. He can be a prospect center for us. Okay. So we have what? Like 3 picks left? 4 picks left? And looking at what we have right now, I don't really know where to go, what direction to take. With 4 picks left, we still have $26 million in cap space. So do we want to take a guy that can play like a third line role maybe? What does Ribeiro look like? Yeah, he's got shit face-offs, but look at his offensive stats. Holy shit. So we could, 36. I don't know, man. I do not know. Sort by puck skills. What about Desharnais? He's not bad. Pretty good offensively. But let's look at defensive category for forwards. Brodzak, Iginla, Kunitz, Fisher, Grabowski, Doan. It's down to Derek McKenzie. These are all 4-star defensive category guys. So Grabowski, $5 million. Yuck. That's not what I want to see. What about Brodziak? Bring him back to St. Louis. That looks like a good option for Kyle Brodziak to be our 4th-line center with his defensive categories in the mid-80s. Just take a quick gander at McKenzie. He's pretty good too, but we're gonna go with Brodziak because he's on that. He's on a deal for less than $1 million for 2 years. Brodziak, welcome back to St. Louis. We will make sure to throw you on the ice in situations where we need a goal in the last couple minutes of the game, because I know my St. Louis fan friends enjoy seeing Reeves, Brodziak, and Upshaw on the ice late in a game when the Blues are down. So one thing we could use is another defenseman, I guess, that we can throw in the NHL. And if we look to pay, we could pay Markov. He's pretty good offensively, but we could also pay Streit. I think it's Streit. Get him on our team. I don't know. All these guys drafted by the Canadians. Jeez. Another Canadian right there. Beauchemin. Oh, man. We might pick Fisher. He's got great offensive stats. That's insane how good his offensive stats are. And looking at our roster, I just don't know what to do. Just don't know. We could throw him. I am at a loss for both words and decisions. I'm at a double loss. Still, Quincy's still there. He's not bad. I'd love to pick Ribeiro because his offensive stats are insane, but I just don't have a spot for him. I guess I could throw him on the 4th line, maybe, but his role is probably going to be 3rd line, scoring forward, and his attributes don't really fit in that 4th line role. So maybe like the only option I have would be to move Bennett down to either the 4th line or the minors. And that's not something that I'm really keen on doing. So Ribeiro's not really a fit, and he can't even play center. But Iginla, as a right winger, can play center. Not bad face-offs, pretty good offensive stats, pretty good defensive stats. I'm just going to pick Iginla and throw him in our NHL lineup and say whatever. On to the next one. As Solark goes to the Panthers. Used to be on the Bruins, or is on the Bruins in real life. He was an odd case. He came in and played top 6 minutes for the Bruins. Played great. Looked fantastic out there. Looked like he had chemistry with both Krejci and Pasternak, but he could not put up points. He got a goal. His first NHL goal disallowed. Had several other fantastic chances that he could not finish. And only finished with like 2 assists in something like 9 or 10 games. But hopefully you can help out the Bruins in the long term. Is there anything that looks like a prospect that is still left? And as they burp again, Subway. Why do you make me burp so much while I'm recording this video? Nothing really doing in terms of prospects. Nothing really at all. So we're pretty much done with the prospects. We are going to go. I don't know. I just do not know what to say. I could draft Jimmy Hayes for the hell of it, but I do not want to put such a curse on myself. We have a lot of cap space, like I said, so we might just draft guys that have a little bit of trade value that we can trade as the squeaky chair makes a return to the video. Maybe we can pick up Markov. Got 1 year. Yeah, 1 year, almost 6 million, which sucks, but I don't really have room for a top 4 defenseman. It has to be like a top 6 guy. And I doubt Markov would be fine playing that third pairing. Does Ryan Murray have good offensive stats? Because if not, we could draft a power play specialist. Murray has pretty good offensive stats, so 86 and an 87. And obviously, Carlson's going to be on one of our power play units. So that's great. Just trying to get ideas here, so I don't know what to do. Do we have enough guys for our penalty kill? Carlson, Murray, Seidenberg, and I don't know. We might need another penalty killer. If we can find somebody that's better than Beaulieu at 85, 85, and 87, we could draft a penalty killer for us. So let's see. Is there anybody left with 5-star defense? There is not, but there are a absolute ton of guys left with 4.5-star defense. Let's go through them. Does anything pop out? You should be able to sort in the fantasy draft by the individual attribute categories like you can in free agency, but you cannot. You can only sort by the overall categories like puck skills or shooting or defense. So Cal Quincy matches what we're looking for. Does not surpass, nor does England. Smeed, Ladislav Smeed technically does, and so does Ben Lovejoy, but we're not going to draft a guy just for that purpose. Ben Lovejoy, though, can play on the right side, so we could possibly have a right-handed defenseman on our roster with Ben Lovejoy. Clayton Stoner, haha, 420, blaze it. Oh, man. Honestly, Markov might be the best guy defensively and the best guy offensively. Fuck it. We're picking Markov. We're loading up on our Montreal Canadian defensemen. We have Markov and Beaulieu. And by loading up, I mean 2. Drafting 2 of them. Crazy. Last round. Thank God. This is almost over. I apologize. If any of you have stayed and watched this entire video, you deserve a fucking medal. Not even kidding. I've been debating picking Mike Fisher for like the last 5 rounds, and he is still here. He has fantastic offensive stats, so I think that we should draft him and make a spot for him. Gabrick's contract is too crazy. We still have 20 million left in cap space, so we can pay $3.5 million for a bottom 6 guy for year 1, but we cannot pay $5 million for a 4th line guy for 5 years. The Kings are going to be regretting that contract for a long time. We're picking Ribeiro. I argued about picking him for a long time, so we're just going to do it and get it over with. And that was the end of the fantasy draft. Oh my God. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go through each team. I'm just going to glance over them. And if you want to see their roster, you can stop and look at it. Just pause the video when you're to your favorite team or the team you want to look at. And I personally will stop at the Bruins to look at that a little bit just to see what they ended up with. So yeah, we're just going to get through this really quickly. Try to remember who's in the Central Division so we can kind of look at our division rivals and see how they turned out. Man, this was a marathon of a video, and yeah, if you're still here, you deserve a medal. If you tell me where you live, I'll come give you a high five my damn self. I think Winnipeg is in the Central, so they got Ovechkin. So we should be seeing his name quite a bit Should be playing quite a few games against us throughout the season. The seasons. Yeah. So the Bruins got Patrick Kane and Artemi Panarin. Hey, we got McAvoy back. Yes. 6th round pick Charlie McAvoy returned to the Bruins. Okay, that's pretty much it. Jordan Subban, Malcolm, and PK's little brother is on the Bruins. Actually, he might be older than Malcolm, but I'm not sure. But, oh, I just realized they drafted Corey Crawford. 3 of the Bruins' top 4 picks were fucking Blackhawks. Jeez. Jeez. Okay, whatever. Moving on. The Sabres, that's going to be an insane top line if they put McKinnon on it. McDavid, McKinnon, and Kessel. Pastrnak in the 7th round was still there. Wow. They didn't get a goalie until Hellebuck, though, so who knows about that. Calgary, they're in the Pacific. Alright, the Blackhawks, our rivals. Ekblad, Barkov, so they like their Florida Panthers. Simmons, Severson, Nyquist, Brodin, Granlund, Picard, Stetcher, Grigorenko, Schmaltz. Nothing there really strikes fear in my heart. With the top line of like Barkov, Simmons, Nyquist. That's our top line's a whole lot better than that. But Ekblad is going to be their franchise player, as Erik Karlsson is ours. I've seen Sims where Ekblad got up to 95, and Karlsson's pretty much done at 92, but he's still absolutely fantastic for us. He's going to be fantastic for us. And Severson doesn't scare me too much. And the goalie of Calvin Picard, that's whatever. Avalanche, Kucherov, Bergeron, Poso, Monahan, Alex Martinez, Jack Johnson, JVR. They didn't pick a goalie until Craig Anderson, Martin Stahl-Mathot. So same thing with them. Not super scary, but we'll have to see. Dallas with Kopitar, Letang, Barry, Sad, Leonard. They got a goalie pretty early in relation to those last 2 teams we looked at. They got Henrik Sedin in like the 8th round. Yeah, so we could have picked those old guys there and use a top 10 pick on them, or a top 10 round pick, but I didn't want to. As we move on. Whew, this video is almost over. My goodness. Minnesota Wild, Stamkos, Hamilton, Wheeler, Savard, Marner, Kreider, Jake Allen. So our goalie went to the Wild. Filppula, Kulikov, Dupre, Melko Karlsson, Malcolm Subban, Sheary, Jacob Larson. So the Wild stole Jacob Larson from us. I was going to pick him that round, but he was not there for me to pick. So that's what the Wild look like. Steven Stamkos is kind of scary. You'll probably see his name quite a bit. There's the Habs. The Preds. The Preds got PK Subban, and they also brought in his former teammate Max Pacioretty. They also got Kyle Turris, Marc-Andre Fleury. That's pretty early for an old goalie to go, but that's fine. Eric Johnson, Kessler, Cronwall, Thornton, Riley Nash, Louis Erickson, Trevor Daley. So the Predators scare me quite a bit more than those last teams we saw. They're going to be a competitor early, which was the goal. It's what we wanted to do, but they are going to do that. Drafted a few older guys that are going to retire in a couple of years, but if you look at the top line of something like their top 6 of like Pacioretty, Turris, Kessler, Joe Thornton, Rick Nash, Louis Erickson, they're going to be an experienced team that is going to be pretty damn good, especially early on, as Crosby and Rask are playing together in New York. I might have missed a division team as we went through, but that's okay. That just means that the video is going to end sooner. Arizona, actually. So we're going to go. That's what our team looks like right there. We're going to go to Arizona. I believe they're in the Central. This video is so long that I've forgotten what team is in what division. So they got Goudreau, Perry, Hamonic, Zibanejad, Brassard, Hanifin, Mrazek, Niederreiter, McCabe, Marchessault, and Alexiak. So they're not bad. We're moving on. Fuck this shit. This video's over. Thank you guys for watching, especially if you stuck around to this point. This video is super long, and so yeah, next video we're gonna get into making the lines, looking at free agency, looking at some potential trades we could make, and we're going to try to compete year one and try to win the Stanley Cup and end the drought for the St. Louis Blues as our team 90-90-87. I'm actually going to go to roster moves and see if everyone that we want in the NHL is in the NHL, and we'll see what those ratings look like. So guys we have are not in the NHL. Ribeiro and Iginla. Yeah, so it has a few guys on here that should not be up there. Oh, we just sent a couple guys to juniors. To junior. That's fine though. That's no big deal. Schlemko, bring him up. Send these 3 guys down. 2 more guys to junior. That's fine. So we probably have pretty much all those defensemen right there are probably in junior, as well as guys like Strome here and Svechnikov, or I don't know if he played in Russia, but Dubois. So we have quite a few guys in junior, but that's fine. We're gonna have to make quite a few signings to fill out our AHL roster. So we're just gonna go best lines, say whatever, and then look at our ratings again. We are looking like 93, 92, 87, and our 87 goaltending is the young Matt Murray with the, I believe, low elite potential. So I believe we're set up pretty good. Next video, we're going to look at the lines and probably sim quite a bit through the season. Maybe get up to the trade deadline. I might sign some guys, might trade for some guys early on. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, please subscribe, please leave me comments. And hopefully I never have another video that is anywhere near this long, as I'm sure you guys are tired of listening to me and tired of watching. But thanks again, guys, and tune in next time to Jesus Christ, I messed up this ending, but I'm not editing it out. I don't care. Tune in next time to see what happens with our St. Louis Blues Fantasy Draft Franchise Mode series. Thank you guys. Goodbye. I'm done.